Good evening, afternoon, and good morning, wherever you're listening from. Unfortunately, we don't have a Saxon today,
Yeah, he
but
couldn't find us actually.
we're hiding. But fortunately, you get a little nature talk with Nic and Walker, and we are coming to you hot with an episode about turkey hunting today. I'm Nic, obviously. This is my cohort, Walker, who is in the least of turkey territories right now. But I know spiritually you're out there in the woods looking for him. Walker, how you doing?
Every day, spiritually out there in the woods. Yeah, we figured it would be a good time to talk about this because turkey season in Texas is just ending for me. I think I've got another couple weeks, and it's just starting for Nic. And we were both talking about it, mostly Nic saying, "Why do you get to go turkey hunting?" And now
Yeah.
I'm feeling grumpy because he gets to go turkey hunting.
Well,
But
if
it's a
it
it's a
makes you
subject
feel
near and dear
better.
to both of our hearts.
Yeah, that's true. If it makes you feel better, our turkey season for spring in Indiana is only a couple of weeks long. It starts on Thursday and it ends on May 11th.
Oh,
So
yeah, no, my
it's like
season
literally,
also ends like May 12th. Yeah, May
yeah,
11th, whatever.
it's like literally 17 days or something like that.
It is very short.
Let's see.
Especially when you consider that most of the time I can't go hunting during the week.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18 days. My bad.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah, I know we had text earlier. Also, for all of those of you who are listening, not watching, we are wearing camo.
Yeah, we are. That's why I said Sax couldn't find us.
Partially in honor of You Can't See Me, John Cena winning a record-breaking 17 championships in the WrestleMania yesterday, but that's not a conversation we care to have tonight.
Well, every time John Cena's brought up, I always like to mention and remind everybody that he has fulfilled, at least to my knowledge at this point, the most Make-A-Wishes of anybody by like an order of magnitude.
Oh,
That
yeah.
man is a
He's a dude.
machine,
Yeah, he's a good guy.
and I have mad respect for him.
Yes, same. Okay, we digress. Yeah, turkey. I know we had talked earlier, we were messaging, and I said, I was kind of being a little arrogant about I got permission to hunt on some private land on Thursday for the season opener. The guy that I was supposed to go hunt his property texted me earlier and was like, "Hey, I forgot I have friends who are going mushroom hunting on Thursday, so you can't shoot turkey." And I'm like, "All right,
Oh,
okay," which is fine. So in Indiana, you don't have to buy your turkey license to do it, but you can put in for draws through DNR for like DNR managed property, and I got selected for one for Friday and Saturday. It's a cool little reserve area. It's about an hour and a half away, I think.
oh, perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah, and you only get so many people who go in there. It's not super huge, so I'm a little worried about how many people are actually going to be there. I don't know what the draw numbers are, but so I'm supposed to go Friday. I have the ability to go Friday and Saturday. Really, if I shoot a bearded or male turkey, I'm done for spring season. We get one.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But I'm only going to be able to go Friday. So I am, as of right now, going with Zach, who's been on the podcast before.
Nice.
Yep.
Shout out, Zach.
He's never been hunting before, and I've actually never hunted turkey. So it's going to be a fun learning experience for the both of us. Unfortunately, on these DNR managed properties, I am only allowed to shoot from half hour before sunrise until 1 p.m. So it's
1 p.m.
Yeah, it's a midday, and I can't shoot lead rounds, which is a bummer because I have a bunch of them, and I don't have any tungsten. Yep. I gotta go buy some $75 tungsten rounds or whatever they cost. And then I was supposed to go on Saturday, but unfortunately we cannot go Saturday. We have commitments. And then I meant to do this on the last episode, but I did want to give a shout out to my buddies Chris and Cameron. Their mother passed away recently, so we're going to her memorial service on Saturday. So turkeys can wait, but we're geared up. I know Zach has turkeys in his yard basically, and I've had to essentially butter up his wife to allow me to come over and shoot them out of their yard. And then the other day he sent me a text message and it was just a picture of a hen. It said subject spotted. I said, I think that's a hen, but it's good to know that they're there.
Yeah, no, I was laughing because I always find when I'm out hunting for turkey, it is rough going out here in the hill country right now. The public land is few and far between, and it's quite dry. And the turkeys gotta have water. So the finding them is always challenging. So I have not been having much luck at all So I go out, I sit in the bush, wait. I'm very patient and very quiet.
Very still. Yeah.
I don't see anything.
Do you hear them?
And then I pack up and I leave. I'm driving out. Turkeys everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Not everywhere, but always on the side of the road, like while I'm leaving. And it's just amazing to me that I think they know. And you know what? Power to them. I can't outsmart the turkey. I don't deserve it. But yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. It always seems like you could be as silent as the grave, and they don't want to show up.
Or they show up and you just don't know.
Well, that's true.
They could walk in and walk out without you ever seeing them.
I'm very bad at my turkey calls. I'm very much a novice as well.
Yeah, I've practiced in the basement before, but that doesn't really translate to the wild.
No, I like it. I think I like it the most out of hunting that I've done, just because I feel, I don't know, I think I feel the most connected to nature when I'm turkey hunting. For those who don't know, for a lot of, for when you go deer hunting, you wear your blaze orange and, all that good stuff. Deer can't really see in like the red orange end of the spectrum, but turkeys have great vision. So traditionally for turkey season, you do actually wear camo. That's why we're wearing camo today. I think a lot of like the deer season camos, honestly, kind of, you don't really need a lot. Like Granddad's red and black plaid works pretty much just as good because it breaks up your silhouette in the same way, and deer can't see that. But for turkey, it matters, and it's a hell of a lot of fun to pretend to be a bush. Maybe that says something about me, but getting in the camouflage and ghillie suits are common. You just go sit and you pretend to be a bush, and I find it very calming. But again, probably says something more about me than it does about the general populace. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Nick?
I like it. It reminds me of the episode of The Office where Dwight's talking about hunting, and he was like, deer, which looking back is incorrect, but he's like, deer are really good at vision. I had to be better at camouflage than deer are at vision. And you're right. Deer, I mean, hell, I've walked up on deer before, and they've looked right at me and just been like, I don't know if that's, I've been around turkeys, never in like I'm trying to shoot this turkey, but they're, they have a lock on you. They're looking at you. They know what's going on. Deer are just kind of, if they smell, deer are way more prone to smelling you than seeing you. I've even seen people, of course I watch a lot of the hunting content or whatever, Meat Eater, and they're going out with like regular ball caps and a jacket and like tan colored pants. They're not ghillie suit or whatever. They're having success, but those guys have been doing it for 20. Then there's also people who are, like you said, full-blown ghillie suit, don't move at all, just hope one walks by, and I think I'm going to be kind of in between that.
Yeah, no, I don't have a ghillie suit. I don't know. I think it's just fun to really blend in and just really pretend to be as still and quiet as you can. Because even with, it's Texas. I hunt hogs sometimes, try to keep the population numbers down, although I will say that I acknowledge that trapping is a much more effective management strategy, especially on a larger scale. The hunting is not the worst method you can use, but regardless, it's definitely different than anything else. Just that sense of quiet you get. There are very few times where you have to be actually so still and relaxed, which is nice.
Yeah. I had a good time the last time I was deer hunting. I was sitting on a small stool, had my bow in my lap, and I was just sitting there very still, and it got to the point where there were dozens of birds just flying around. Squirrels are running around just doing whatever, like they didn't even care or know that I was there. It was pretty neat.
Last time I was out, I actually had a coyote walk up, and I don't know. I don't love varmint hunting. We've got a couple dens of coyotes out where I hunt, and I listen to them all night. They'll usually right around sunset they'll den up, and I'll be yapping and howling to one another. But I never see them because they are real squirrely. Mm-hmm. So I felt real accomplished to be quiet enough to like have the coyote. I'm sure it knew I was there and didn't give a shit, but at least it felt comfortable enough not seeing me to.
Then you shot it in the face.
Walk around. I did not shoot the coyote. I like the coyotes. They don't do much. I leave them plenty of pork. So
that's fair.
We're chill.
Yeah, there's a different implication for leaving them. Here, it's more like they're killing your pets.
Yeah, no.
Or livestock.
out on big tracts of land in hill country to West Texas. I mean, what are the coyotes gonna do, right? To be fair, if you were like trying to manage a population of, I don't know, grouse or quail or something, sure, I guess. But even then, like, do better population management otherwise, and I mean, you can figure it out. It's not the coyotes they're here, they're native, they're not gonna be causing that many problems.
Right. Well, speaking of West Texas, that leads me to the one question I want to ask you. When you're turkey hunting, are you hunting Rio Grande turkeys?
We are.
They're
We
not
are hunting Rio
Eastern,
Grande.
right?
No, so it's actually you were saying one turkey. We actually get 4 per year in Texas. So it's split between spring and fall.
Mm-hmm.
But you can shoot. I didn't get any this year in the fall, so I could shoot 4 turkeys this spring. I would not. That's like way too many turkeys. I'd be good with 1, but
we can only do 1 each.
Okay.
It doesn't carry over. It's not like if you don't shoot 1 in fall, you can shoot 2 in spring. It's 1. You get 1 shot.
No, 4 per year in Texas, and they are Rio Grande. There are some counties in the east of Texas that do have the
Eastern
regular turkey, Eastern turkey.
Yeah, I was just looking at the map.
Those are actually a lot more highly regulated.
Really?
So in Texas, you're actually allowed to hunt turkey with a rifle, except for some of these eastern counties. Yeah, no, I can go shoot a turkey with a rifle. I choose not to.
Right.
Because again, it's really fun to blend in with nature.
And I feel like if you're taking a rifle shot at a turkey, you're gonna ruin a lot of meat for a kill shot.
Were I to do it, I would use a 22.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah,
so
yeah.
For what it's worth, the firearm I take out turkey hunting it's an old Savage from like the 60s. It's a 22 Magnum on top and a 410 shotgun on the bottom.
Yeah,
so I'm using
sweet.
410 mostly, but were I so inclined, I could use the 22 Magnum.
If you shot one with the 410 and another one walked up, you could ping it with the 22.
Yeah. If I were so inclined, but I hunt with that because I like hunting with old. I don't know. I like the old gun. I spent a lot of time refinishing the stock, and I fixed the main spring, and I've spent a lot of time like repairing that firearm. So it was Chloe's grandfather's.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah. So I spent a lot of time just like fixing it. Plus, it's just neat. It's old. It's not particularly common, and it works really well for like small game stuff. It's great.
Oh yeah, you don't have to carry 2 guns.
No. And I don't know. I feel fine using the 410. Basically you just limit yourself to like 20 yards. Makes it more challenging.
Yeah.
20 yards not that I'm any good and being like, yeah, I can't, I need the challenge, blah, blah, blah.
20 yards is not that far away.
No, it's real close.
It's close.
Yeah. Because it's old, I'm actually not able to use tungsten. So you're talking about having to use tungsten rounds?
Yeah.
For folks who don't know, tungsten is a very popular turkey metal for your shot. Like it's more dense than lead. So what you can do is you can use smaller pellets that have the same kinetic energy as a larger size lead pellet. So for a 410, 410 is very small. It's like the smallest shotgun. Well, not strictly true. There are some it's the smallest like full size shotgun shell. And if you normally were to hunt turkey with it, it does not have that many pellets in it compared to like a 12 gauge. Because you need to hunt turkey with like a number 7 shot to have the appropriate kinetic energy to make ethical kill on a turkey with lead. But with tungsten, you could go down to a number 9 shot. So for the same mass in the shell, you get a lot more dense pattern, is the long and the short of it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when I'm hunting on DNR property, I can't use toxic rounds, which is lead, which is the most popular and super freaking cheap. So I have to, I think, what was the other one? Bismuth or tungsten. So if I get...
Yeah. So bismuth is, I use bismuth when I hunt dove because I prefer not to hunt with lead whenever I can, but it's so cheap.
Right. But the tungsten rounds, at least the ones I was looking at last time I was at the dinky little gun store here in town, were like $70 for 5 shells.
Yeah, That sounds about right. It's like the tungsten is just, it's so expensive. So
Yeah,
that's the other benefit of the 410 is it's really, I mean, okay, it's not really cheap, but like,
it's
you know,
cheaper.
a dozen 410 tungsten rounds are like $40 as opposed to,
Right.
you know,
Four
the 12,
four
yeah.
four boxes of $75 tungsten shot would buy me that Stevens gun that you sent
Yeah,
me.
we
That's
were talking
savage.
about turkey guns. Totally not sponsored, but we're looking at really cheap turkey guns in 410 because I was
Oh,
recommending the 410 for it's just easy. Oh, well, it's
yeah.
just not easy. It's definitely hard. You're using less pellets. I'm definitely handicapping myself, and I'm not good enough to handicap myself, but it's fine.
I mean, I have seen, again, professional hunters or whatever you want to call it. They're using 410s with certain setups and they're confident out to 40. No, sorry, it wasn't a 410, it was a 20 gauge. So you get a little more
Yeah, it's a lot.
distance.
It's not a
Yeah.
little more. That's like
Yeah.
it's like 2x the mass.
But
Um,
still, I mean,
yeah,
they're like, I'm not even taking 12 gauge anymore. Just give me a 20 gauge, which would be cool, except for I have two 12 gauges. And I think
yeah.
that
I
the
mean,
total combined cost that I've paid for both of them is $180.
great, awesome, love
Yeah.
it. Cheap is
So,
good.
right.
You don't need to. You don't. I'm gonna get eviscerated by the hunting influencers, but you don't actually need to spend a lot of money to go hunt.
You don't need a
It's
Benelli?
amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I really do like I do like a lot of the content, particularly meat eater, like you mentioned. But
Hmm.
boy, there really is a culture of just spending money. Like the whole point of hunting is like,
Yeah.
subsisting, providing for yourself in a meaningful way that brings you closer to nature. Not
Yeah. Unfortunately, turkey season here is less about efficiently providing for yourself because you only get to shoot one turkey, and I have to
right,
buy.
right.
I bought the tag, and there's
Yep,
a game bird, like a habitat stamp
yep,
that we have
yep.
to buy
We
for
have that
both
too.
seasons. So it's really, if you shoot a turkey, factoring in not even ammo and gun and camouflage and time and all that stuff, just purely paying for the tags, it's like a $50.
Yeah, that's pretty expensive. I think it would get down. I think my all-in everything full year license, like the resident combo tag in Texas is $70, I want to say. And that's like my hunting license, my fishing license, my 4 turkey tags, all my endorsements for
Oh wow.
game birds and whatever, upland and whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't even that is purely just the turkey habitat stamp and the tag. That doesn't count my I
That's
think
your
that
hunting license. Wow.
no, the combo. So I have a combo fishing and small game license, which is like $30, which is easy because the hunting or the fishing license by itself is like 21 or something like that.
It's a really good deal for the Texas makes it really easy to get your license. The problem is
Yeah,
the public land is abysmal.
right.
Well, okay, the public land that exists is really good. Texas Parks and Wildlife does a great job. I love Texas Parks and Wildlife. I volunteer for them.
It's just not a lot.
There's not much. There's
Yeah,
very limited of it. It's mostly private. I really just I don't like the milieu of hunting in Texas a lot. It's just very private. It's very, go shoot a trophy bird or buck or whatever on somebody's private land for $2,000.
right. Yeah. I mean, I feel better about the value of the deer bundle license for deer season. It's like $90, I think, and you could shoot two antlerless and one antlered. And like
That's
if you take three deer at $30 a deer, I mean
that's that's all your meat for the year, basically.
yeah, it's going to cost you more to freeze it and pay the
Yeah.
power on your freezer than it did to shoot those deer.
Well, that's a phenomenal deal. I mean, I'm sure the deer in Indiana are quite plentiful.
Yeah, I thought so until I didn't shoot any last season.
That's how it goes. I mean, I don't know. I tell people it's called fishing, not catching. It's called
Yeah,
hunting, not shooting.
right. Let's see, wild turkey. We could do so. There's two seasons for turkey in the fall. There's one actually, kind of three seasons. Fall archery is from October 1st to the 27th, and then firearms is in the middle of that, October 16th to the 27th, and then December 7th through January 5th. It goes back to archery, and that we can take a turkey of either sex. So good to know it's not only males. bunch of deer
Interesting.
seasons.
It's not even bearded. It's just
No,
either
yeah,
sex.
for falls either.
Okay.
So spring is bearded or male, and then for half the year you can hunt like rabbit and squirrel and game turtles, bullfrogs, all that nonsense.
Oh yeah, it's just open season on rabbits and squirrels and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, well, technically the season is like August 1st through September 30th or whatever.
Oh yeah, the like
It,
11
it,
and a half month or
yeah.
whatever it is. Yeah.
No, I mean, it is literally every day of the year. It's just, there is technically a season defined as the entire year.
Yeah, ours, unfortunately, squirrel is August 15th through January 31st. So it's 5 months, basically.
It's crazy that they restrict the squirrel season.
I don't know. We don't have as much wildlife as you guys, I guess.
I mean, I don't know if that's true. Well, I don't know. The desert is pretty vivacious.
You guys get to shoot sandhill cranes, don't you? I can't shoot those.
We do. You can go sandhill crane hunting in Texas.
I heard they're very good to eat.
I have heard so too. I would probably go some point. It's on my list.
And then, yeah, we can do all the birds: mourning doves, ducks, coot, mergansers, teal, Canada geese. I really kind of want to go hunting for Canadian geese this year, mostly because I hate them.
They're real assholes, honestly.
They're the worst.
As far as birds go, they're real dicks.
We were driving somewhere yesterday, and like 3 separate times I stuck my middle finger up, and Chrissy goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Those geese. We're driving by like geese just standing on the sidewalk." I was like, "Why do you hate them so much? You love all the other animals." They're assholes. They act like
they will mess you up.
They could try. I'll fight a goose. We've done it before.
I've done it before, and I'll do it again. Yeah, well, so in Texas, can you go on a snipe hunt in Texas? Or in Indiana? Because I can do it in Texas.
Yeah, statewide, September 1st and December 16th.
Yeah, and woodcock.
Yep.
All the good stuff.
Sora, American woodcock, snipe, teal, mourning doves, ducks, coots, mergansers, Canada geese, light geese, and brant and white-fronted geese.
The geese.
Yeah. We gotta get rid of these geese, man. Send them back to Canada. I made a pretty good, when she was asking me why I hate geese, I'm like, well, they're here illegally. They're undocumented immigrants. They need to go.
Oh my God.
Get out of here. We gotta round them up and send them back.
Oh Lord. Yeah. Except for the fact that we've got this whole, multi-country international flyway thing defined that we've worked, for decades to. I know you're joking, but
ignorance of the law is no defense.
I know. Yeah, man. When I was out dove hunting last year, and the warden came up on us, and we saw him come into the field we were in, but he spent like an hour before he got to us just ticketing these guys who were next to us. I mean, every single one of them must have had a ticket or two written for them. It took that long for the guy to go through.
Did they? What was their deal?
He walked up to us and was like, "Y'all good? Yep. Can you show me your tags? Yep. Here you go." And then he went away. They must have royally screwed up.
Forgot their tags or something.
Piss off that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I have received a ticket from DNR before. I don't know if we've talked about it. It was in college. I was going fishing. Well, I was going camping with 2 of my friends. And there's a state park. Yeah, I don't know, probably 30 minutes, 25 minutes from where I went to school. And there's a big old lake in south central Indiana, Lake Monroe. And so it's like on the way. And we've all been to Lake Monroe a million times. We grew up in central Indiana. So we're like, hell yeah, we're going to grab our rods. We're going to go fish, catch some fish at Lake Monroe. We're going to head to the campsite, cook some fish, drink some beer, whatever, have a good night. We get to the place where we're fishing. There is a bass fishing tournament happening.
Oh no.
So like they have all the trailers and stuff are set up, down the way, but nobody's at the docks where we're going. We're like, all right, cool. We're not bothering anybody. We had like 5 or 6 poles between the 3 of us, and we get them all casted in, and DNR starts walking down the dock, and we're like, oh, okay, I wonder what they want. And the first thing they ask is like, you guys got your fishing license? And we go, oh, we totally forgot. We got all hyped up, getting everything packed up for camping. And my buddy Derek pulls out his phone, and he's like, I can buy it right now on my phone. And he was like, that's all right. Get your stuff. Come with me. One cast. We walk back up, and he writes us each a ticket. It was like $122.50.
Yeah.
And we were like broke college kids. We're like, God dang it.
That's a big one, yeah.
So we just left and went to the campsite, drank a bunch of beer, and just hung out, had burgers instead of fish.
Well, it's good you didn't plan on the fish. If I've learned anything, you can never plan on fish as a meal.
Yeah, no, that was just oh, this is a thing we can do on the way, or else we would have been hungry. Yeah.
When I was a kid in the summer, we would go fish for, sunfish or whatever, and eat them. And we would go foraging for mushrooms too. So we'd have just like terrible sunfish, just not good. And I think
Perch and
they're mostly
bluegill.
pumpkin seed sunfish.
Okay.
And then we would have chanterelle mushrooms because they're native
Yeah.
and all over the place in Maine where I grew up. So for those who don't know, those are about $80 a pound at Whole Foods for the mushrooms, with just
It's like
the
ruined
most
you. Yeah.
abysmal, crappy, whatever panfish, and then gourmet mushrooms all sauteed up. Mushrooms are good, man. They were really, really good.
I bet. Take the flavor away from that fish. Did you at least fry the fish?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, you
Like
just
battered?
fillet it and saute it real. No, I mean whatever.
Just cook it. Yeah.
Honestly, usually what I would do is I would just gut it and then take a stick and then spike it.
Yeah.
Remove the head, don't fillet it. You spike through each of the fillets and then you just hold the chest cavity open over the fire and just roast it and then peel the skin and eat it. No salt, no butter, no nothing. No wonder it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'll just eat it like this. Although to this day, the worst fish that I've ever voluntarily eaten, I caught a chain pickerel in northern Maine, and I was real hungry, so I was like, I've never had sticky meat before, but boy, it was bad. I really did not enjoy the chain pickerel. I learned later that often, like the old timers, the way they cook them is that you make a stew out of it. Nobody tries to roast them or saute or whatever, because they're not conducive to that. So yeah, if you ever catch a chain pickerel in northern Maine, make sure you boil it instead of
with a bunch of seasoning and vegetables, and yeah.
It is not a good fish.
I mean, most of the wild caught fish that I've caught and eaten is almost exclusively crappie.
So good.
Yeah, I do. One time I was camping. I have one of my buddies I grew up with. Our family friends, his mom and dad knew somebody else, and they had this property out with a big lake. They had a big rope swing. We would rope swing in the lake and stuff. And so we were camping out and we were fishing. We caught big, huge, large crappie for as far as crappie go. And his dad cleaned it for us, and it had eggs. It had an egg sack or whatever. And he was like, "You guys are gonna eat this too, right?" I'm like, "I guess." I wasn't planning on it, so we just threw that in there. It tasted like eggs. It was kind of weird.
Yeah. No, best fish I've had is on the coast of Maine. Very privileged to grow up there, but we just go and you find a school of mackerel, and we're fishing with a hook and an orange bead and a piece of surgical tubing. That's it. That's all you need. You drop it down and you pull up a mackerel. And you drop it and you pull up a mackerel. It's it's incredible. 15 plus mackerel and, literally infinite mackerel. You can catch your limit.
It's a mackerel glitch. Just do it.
You just...
oh, we forgot to bring stuff for dinner. What are we going to have? I don't know. Here's 45 mackerel.
Yeah, you can catch as many mackerel as is legal to catch.
Yeah.
In zero time.
My stepmom's parents live full time now at Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, and they used to have a condo. It was essentially an apartment building. It was a big condo building, and they had the big shared docks down in the water on the lake. And my grandpa would sink shrubs. Old Christmas tree, if he had a Christmas tree and shrubs and stuff, he would sink them down his dock bay, and then he would raise the boat up or whatever when it was out of the water, and we would go get a bucket of minnows from the bait shop. You would hook a minnow, and you would have a weight on it, and you would just drop it about 30 feet down, and just very slowly reel it up. And almost every single time you caught crappie. There's just huge crappie populations down there. You're just dropping shrubs,
perfect
trees down. It was awesome.
No, that's good husbandry. I circle back. We're talking about fishing. We're talking about turkey, but it's all the same thing. I just get real jazzed up about being part of the food chain, right? I don't know what it is. I
like being the top part of the food chain for sure.
Yeah, I mean, fair. I guess I don't really plan to be eaten by anything.
Right. I don't think most people who get eaten are planning to be eaten.
No, that's fair. There was that one guy who like had his leg amputated and asked for it back to grill it up, but
Yeah, that's maybe a different
other
conversation.
than that, no, I mean, I don't know. The ethos is that, I suppose if I can't really complain if something decides to eat me, if I'm choosing to participate. So,
Yeah.
uh,
I mean, if a bear's eating me, I'm gonna complain till it's done.
I'm not gonna go quietly or whatever, but
Right.
I'm definitely, can't really, I can't really be mad about it. The bear won fair and square.
I'm not choosing the bear, ladies, but I get it. It's circle
Yeah,
of life.
no, yeah, no, the adult grizzly bear probably gonna mess me up.
Very
It's all
large,
good.
very scary.
Yeah, I'm not that worried about bears.
Well, thankfully in Indiana, when you're turkey hunting or any other hunting, no bears. So
Yeah,
I don't even know if we have black bear in Indiana.
you must. You must. Is there not a black bear season?
No, not here. Black bears
There
are
was
not
in
currently
Maine.
native to Indiana. Are considered extirpated.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
there are black bears in Michigan. I know that. I have looked up black bear season in Michigan, but you have to put in for a lottery, and your chances are statedly better if you're a Michigan resident.
Yeah. Well, and that's fine. I'm definitely for, limiting out of state hunting, especially the states that do a lot of work on, their own management and whatever. It's not rad for people to come from out of state and spend a whole bunch of money and take all the animals. I mean, I know it's supposed to be, public land for everybody in the whole country, and that's like the whole North American model, and that's, one of the things that is just wonderful about the way that we structure our outdoors. But
Looks like August of 2021 this is on DNR's website. Deceased black bear was found in Elkhart County, which is way up top near Michigan. I think it
okay,
bordered. I think
yeah,
it bordered
weird. So
Michigan.
like I don't know, they're all over the place in Maine, but that makes sense.
Looks like they did a CT scan on this dead bear and determined it was hit by a car. Huh. Well, yeah, that's weird because there are black bear in Illinois and Kentucky, which are immediately west and south, respectively.
But they're not in. No, okay, so they're definitely in Indiana, but not for
Yeah.
hunting.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think they're just very few and far between. Kind of like
Yeah.
cougars. We don't have a lot of pumas. Sorry. We don't have a lot of pumas. There's a lot of cougars in Indiana, I'll tell you that much. Just not the puma concolor.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, that's another one. I think we're straying far from turkey talk specifically. Mountain lion would be that's like a true blue pursuit of a predator, like very difficult hunt to do, and apparently a really, what's the word? The meat is like a very unique sort of flavor, and it's almost like a white meat, like pork, I guess.
yeah. No, I haven't. I don't think that's what I do, honestly. Um,
It seems like a
they're
lot.
just so. They're so. I mean, they're just so. I don't think I'd hunt apex predator.
I want to hunt black bear so bad. I mean, truth be told, is 50% for the trophy, but I've heard from several sources that bear fat, bear grease is incredible, and that the meat is very good, provided you cook it all the way and you don't get trichinosis.
You will get trichinosis if you do not cook that too. Well done.
Right. But yeah,
Same with pork though. So it's omnivores. You just like all omnivores. You got to be really careful with.
but yeah, bears. I mean, what's cooler than a bearskin rug? Let's be honest. Very, very cool. Or if you're a utilitarian, you could probably make a coat or several hats. But like, they're huge. You get a lot of meat if you're gonna eat the meat, which I would. And again, bear fat apparently, especially if they're like grazing on berries, like blueberry season, their fat's like almost purple when you harvest it. And render
That's
it down.
something I've heard in Maine. I had bear chili, pretty good. That gets passed around during hunting season in Maine.
I'll
Although
tell you this. I'll never hunt grizzly or brown bear because that means I have to get too damn close to a brown bear, and I don't want to be that close.
well, yeah, I mean that's fair. That's yeah, I don't know. I've heard good things about the bear fat too, but no, the grizzly bears. I'll leave them alone. We can have our peaceful disagreements from several hundred yards.
Yeah, They can get the salmon out of the creek. I'll buy it from Costco. That's fine.
I still want the salmon out of the creek. Just not that same stretch of creek.
Right.
Just a little further down. I don't know. The long and the short of it is, nice to be part of the food.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't get a choice, right? You're going to be part of the food chain regardless.
That's true.
And how you interact with it, I think it's more fulfilling in this fashion, right? You can.
Yeah. That's kind of the conclusion I came to as well. Like, animals have died for me to eat for my entire life, and so I might as well. If I'm going to ask an animal to die, I feel obligated to kill it. And if I ever feel then that's not something I want to do anymore, then I best be becoming a vegetarian, because I don't know. It doesn't feel right to sort of pretend like it's, things aren't dying, because they are, and that's...
I mean, probably a double lung shot on a deer is probably more ethical than factory raised chicken.
Yeah, no, like, I think a lot of people are, I mean, and this is a classic discussion for hunting and stuff, but yeah, an animal that's been out in the wild, and you're killing it, it's probably less painless than whatever method they use to euthanize farm animals. But, well, I mean, maybe probably more painful, just because people are not always perfect shots and whatnot. Right. But still, the aggregate amount of suffering is gotta be less.
True. Yeah, that we could probably spend another 40 minutes talking about ethics. Well, I could. Yeah, ethics and even trophy hunting, and I don't even want to bring it up because it just spur a whole conversation. But people get mad, like, why you go to the African savannah and trophy hunt giraffes or whatever? And it's like, well, it pays for, like, it brings a lot of money into those villages. They keep the meat. You're feeding people, and also I don't want to say most of the time, but sometimes if you're doing it with proper channels, you're actually ethically, keeping the numbers in check. If you're shooting a big, huge, old giraffe, like, what was going to happen to that giraffe? He's probably going to get eaten by lions anyway, right? So he's going to die soon. Everybody, you pay a bunch of money. These guys get money. Village gets meat. It's kind of a win-win-win in some cases. Now, I'm not going to pretend that's all around all the time, but
often for those big trophy animals, it is generally the case. You get you're funding the rest of the sanctuary or the population. I mean, and populations should generally be managed in a lot of cases. I mean, if you're operating from the place that humans are the best and we want to stay alive, then you kind of have to go from there to, well, we need to control the environment and nature to stop us from being killed by it. And then from there, you're talking population management and farming and all this stuff, which there's a whole discussion to be had about whether or not that's something to be done. But if you are saying that, yeah, we're keeping people around, so.
Yeah, I mean, people are more important to me than animals mostly, but like, if you had to pick one, not for all, if it was a person or an animal and you could only save one, most likely picking the person. That's what I'm saying.
If it's my dog, you're SOL, my man.
Is it Murph or Chloe? Pick one.
It's got ooh, that's a hard one. Probably the fiance.
See what I'm saying?
I feel bad about it.
Thank you for making
I'd be torn.
I know. That was just being dumb.
No, I know.
No. All right. Well, hopefully all 4 listeners have learned something about hunting and conservation and turkeys and bears and deer and
conservation is important. Go donate to your DNR.
Don't
support
eat chained pickerel or whatever it is.
Yeah, don't eat chained pickerel. It's bad, man. It is not a good fish. It is not a good fish. Do not recommend, unless you boil it.
That's our takeaway. Don't eat chained pickerel unless you're going to boil it with a bunch of other shit. All right. Well, it's good talking to you, man. Hopefully we get Sax back sooner. You guys are always traveling, and it's a little... You got to stop traveling. You got to stay home and not do anything, so we can just hang out and talk.
I will not do that, because half the time I'm traveling, it's to go be in the woods and think quiet thoughts about being a bush. So, hate to break it to you.
That's fair. I totally understand. All right. Well, hopefully next time we talk, I'll have a nice new turkey fan in the background.
I would love to see it. Good luck.
All right. All right. We'll see you, everybody.